back to the channel, and today we have, unfortunately, a very early video on this topic. But before we get into the video, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm here with Dylan as always, and let's get right into this. So, as everybody knows who doesn't live under a rock, Green Bay's gone. Eliminated. Early. I know, it's sad times, but now we're going into the off season, and as you can see right here where my mouse is, negative 38 million in cap space, with really no room for improvement of the roster, which we can see how we can get above the cap space in a little bit. As I am on this NFL team roster and salary cap manager. It's on sportrack.com, and it's a very useful tool that I actually literally just found out about like maybe 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, while looking for something to better explain this. So let's get into it. So as you can see, negative 38 million. So how do we get out of that? Well, let's scroll down a little bit, and you can see we can release players, trade, or base salary structure. So let's for example say if we cut Preston Smith right now, we would be now negative 24 million in cap. We add Zadarius Smith to that, it'll only be negative $9 million. You can see the transactions log here under that. So then we go down to Randall Cobb, who probably will get cut. It's probably an easy candidate. Negative $2 million. So after just 3 players, it's going to be negative $2 million, which isn't terrible at all. Now, I thought it would be a little bit difficult. I could see, like, let's just say Bakhtiari kind of restructures a little bit. Then it would be negative 1.2 million. Then let's say I don't care for Billy Turner or Dean Lowry at all. So we cut those guys, and we're $6 million above the cap, which is where we want to be, above the cap space. Now, another candidate I see being maybe cut is Adrian Amos, which would put us at $14 million. So now let's slow down and just relook at everything. Okay, so that might have been a little too fast, but so far, if we do all of this, Preston get cut, Zadarius cut, Randall Cobb cut, restructure David Bakhtiari, release Billy Turner, Dean Lowry, and Adrian Amos, the Packers are $14 million in available cap space, which is where we want to be. Now, take a look at the other contracts. Mason Crosby, I'm going to get rid of him because we kind of need a new kicker. I think Kevin King's already a free agent, but let's just get rid of him. He's terrible. Mercedes Lewis, gone. And then there's just a bunch of random guys down here that I'm not going to mess with it because it's not really going to do anything. But now we're 17 million. So, you might be asking, well, what's the point of doing all this? Well, I think it gives us a little bit of an idea of how we can create some cap space. Now, obviously, you also factor in, let's say, now, let me just bear in mind this is a example. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but let's say Aaron Rodgers is dealt to Denver, and I'm just gonna put in as an example again. Example, not gonna happen yet. Uh, where is he? Jerry Judy. I'm just using this as an example. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot more involved, but let's go process trade. And if Rodgers is traded, with everything that we just did, if Rodgers is traded, we'd have 35 million in available cap, along with probably the picks and other assets involved in that trade. Again, it's just a demonstration for that. We honestly could be in a good cap situation very quickly. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough because Za'Darius and Preston Smith, they came over and they did pretty good to be the first couple of years. It's going to be a little bit emotional with Za'Darius because he loves it here and he played his ass off and sadly got injured. But it's a business. We need to get over this, or we need to get out of this salary situation. So let's kind of do something. So with Aaron Rodgers gone, let's just say Aaron Rodgers gets traded this year. So then what? Well, we could use the 35 million in additional salaries to fill in some depth, cheap depth, or being able to sign some draft picks and do all of that. And also, we now hand over the keys to Jordan Love for the next 2 to 3 seasons. And let's say he is our guy. You know, maybe we are able to get other players in the draft and we could have a very quick rebuild. Now, Dylan, I have a question for you. What do you think, or what do you think will happen with Aaron Rodgers? Do you think he's going to get traded?
This, I think a lot of it's going to depend what he thinks. There is a chance he could even retire. that's still very that's still possible. He's already mentioned it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think he'll
It's
call it quits yet, but maybe he decides to say, no, let's screw it. I just want to be done and move on with my life.
I don't know. He's got one more year left on that contract. I don't know if he'll walk away from that, knowing him. Um,
Yeah, I think he'll continue to play for a little bit at least, but
I honestly might be a little shocked if he stays, just because of our cap situation and a bunch of players gone, especially considering Devonte Adams. Now let's say we'll go down here to add free agent. We'll go to Devonte Adams, sign free agent, and then I read online that the franchise tag would be like 20 million, so we'll put in 20 million. Make sure I have enough zeros in there. Yep, okay, so that's 20 million. Then we just have $15 million in cap space, but that's still a pretty decent amount. Then you probably end up looking to trade him, honestly.
yeah,
Um,
I don't see Devonte Adams sticking around if Aaron Rodgers is gone, but
all right, so we officially updated that. Oh, I just accidentally completely undid what I just did, but you can go back and see what I did. I'm just kind of giving a little bit of context as to what we could do to shred some salary. I don't feel like redoing what I just did. So yeah, negative 38 million. There is ways to get out of it. It's going to be tough. I don't know if Rodgers gets traded just because I don't know. Like, if he wants to go, he can go. Like, he got us a ring. Sadly, we couldn't do anything else. But like, if he's gonna do that again, what he did this year, I don't want him just to come back and do it again next year where he chokes again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather get something for him instead of wasting another year, especially since it's the final year of his contract. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting off season for sure. Um, it's either gonna
Yeah.
be it's either gonna be try to get like some low, like what we did with Devontae Campbell or Devondre Campbell, like kind of make some low key signings that honestly nobody knows of until they watch the game. Like I did. I didn't know we had Campbell until week 2. Honestly, like I'm like, who? Wait, what is it? Isn't that guy in the Falcons? Oh, we signed him. Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
that
it's a huge piece to our defense too.
I know, and it's gonna suck because we got a bunch of free agents. Um, I guess I could go back if I can. So yeah, here's another screen, and here's a free agents 2022. Obviously, the big ones being Devonte Adams, Robert Tunyon, Shannon Sullivan, Devondre Campbell, Rasul Douglas. St. Brown was a decent depth move. Uh, MBS, Alan Lazard. Yeah, just a lot of guys, a lot of good depth, honestly. Some that I don't care about. Kevin King, like Tyler Lancaster, Corey Bojorquez was kind of inconsistent later the season. Like he had some bad punts.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oren Burks was a bust. He was drafted in the 3rd round. Was supposed to be like at least a rotational guy. He never got on the field really, and that's not good as a 3rd round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, oh yeah, Chris Barnes is a free agent too. He'll probably get a good contract somewhere. He's a pretty decent player. He's kind of like that Blake Martinez type of player. He's a good tackler. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's either going to be Rodgers or Love starting next year. Now, let's say that Rodgers gets traded and Love is now put in the position to start. It's going to be some dark years, of course, but we have if everything falls right, we would have the keys to maybe a quick rebuild. Because you got to think of it like this: if we do end up trading Rodgers to earlier, I said the Denver Broncos, they're gonna throw stuff at us, like maybe a couple 1st round picks and other picks, and like maybe some young players. And then we franchise tag Adams and trade him. We'll get some picks out of that too. Good picks, I hope.
Yeah.
Then you have a lot of assets to hopefully hit on. That could be good value. And then you already have the best corner in football, Jair Alexander. You're going to have a decent offensive line with a healthy David Bakhtiari, Josh Myers, maybe Elton Jenkins. I mean, that's going to be maybe halfway through next year he'll be back. But once he gets healthy, then you'll have 3 pretty good offensive linemen. Maybe even try to develop John Runyon. if he stays on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got some depth picks, or you got some depth on the roster still. Um. So yeah, like we have the keys to a quick rebuild if we are able to like free up the money and also hit on our draft picks. And if Jordan Love could be the guy, I won't hate that pick anymore. But like at the time, I hated it. I really hated it. And I thought we could have used somebody now instead of later. But if he proves me wrong, good. I'm glad. Like I'm not rooting for him to fail like some other people. Like I want him to do good because we drafted him and we would look terrible if he wasn't gonna pan out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he develops. If he is the guy next year, I hope he can be solid at the very least, and then keep improving.
Yeah, let me look up pretty quickly our draft picks. I don't want ticket sales. Well, we're projected to get 2 compensatory picks if I don't know. But I think we have 28, pick 28 in the first round. So hopefully that's a good pick. But I don't know. I think that's gonna be it. I just it's gonna be tough decisions. It's gonna be a couple of maybe some bad years. But if we do the right decisions, if we build around someone that could lead us, maybe we'll get another Super Bowl in the future. But that's gonna be to be determined. But I think that's gonna be it. Any last words, Dylan?
I don't really have anything at the moment. I guess could we restructure other guys like Jair? I suppose would that save money or even extend
Oh,
Jair?
here we go. Draft tracker. Um, we have 28 in the first. Um, I want to go to NFL teams. I don't. I'll look into that in a little bit. I said all rounds. Oh, whatever. I don't think we just have one pick.
Yeah, we have a lot more than that. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know why it's not showing anything. Oh, maybe because I don't know. Anyway, we know we have the 28th overall pick in the draft, and then we have more than that. I'm not really too familiar with this year's draft class. So hopefully it's a good player. But hopefully it could be a good player. We'll get more into that when the draft comes by quicker or early or later. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.